Welcome to the Butterfly Effect. I'm Garrett Horner, and this is 2021 Tour of Flanders. Action was happening from 80K all the way to the finish of today's race. It was a fantastic day for the classics. It's another monument. Flanders is up there with the 5 biggest, best one-day races in the world. When I'm watching today's race, I thought I was watching E3 Saxo Bank all over again. It was Jumbo-Visma that were just doing tactical mistakes all over the place, and that would leave Wout van Aert all on his own to battle against at least 4 Deceuninck-Quick-Step. E3 Saxo Bank, he had to battle 4 and lost. Today he's going to battle 4 and he's going to lose again. This is all about a budget problem. Jumbo-Visma do not know how to budget their riders. There's budget your checkbook, there's budget your team when you're putting on your riders for these particular races. When you get these riders into the race, you need to budget their energy to get your number one favorite, Wout van Aert, near the finish without being isolated. They don't do it. Between 80 and 55 kilometers to go, they are covering every attack with their domestiques. Okay, Van Honeybroek, great rider. We saw him win for Jumbo-Visma. Wout van Aert win Ghent-Wevelgem because he had one domestique with him that controlled everything to the finish. That allowed Wout to do the sprint and win Ghent-Wevelgem. E3 Saxo Bank, he had no teammates. He lost them all. Here, 80K, they start covering all kinds of attacks. First, it's Israel Startup Nation going up the road, and you look back there, and it's Jumbo-Visma's domestiques bridging across to it on the climb, just putting nails into their form to salvage something so that they can make it near the finish. My number one rule, what is it, guys? If you're the favorite in the race, you stay with your team as long as possible. I haven't told you the flip side of that. If you're a domestique of the number one rider in the race, you stay with the number one rider for as long as you can. Every time Jumbo-Visma is jumping with a move, like Israel Startup Nation, later they jump with the Lotto Soudal rider and put some more nails into their legs. That is killing their form to be able to just ride as a group. Okay, we all know that one twig is weak and you get a bunch of twigs and you put them all together and you can't bend and break them, right? We've all seen the movies. We watch all the jokes on that. What they're doing every time Jumbo-Visma jumps with these attacks when they've already been on the front for 75, 100 miles on one of the hardest one-day races in the world, you're going to blow yourself up when you go into the red zone to follow a move that doesn't matter. What do you gain from following a move with Lotto Soudal? What you lose is Wout van Aert later being isolated. So all the way between 80 up to 80K to go, Jumbo-Visma is controlling the early break that they gave 12 and a half minutes to. No threat at all. They could have even given it more time, and that would have forced Deceuninck-Quick-Step to actually have to start riding near the finish, and then they wouldn't be able to attack Wout van Aert until they brought the break back. Instead, the break's back naturally just by the amount of force that everyone's fighting to get and start at all these dangerous cobblestones and climbing stages. Now, 55K to go. Basically, the whole Jumbo team, minus Wout van Aert, has blown themselves up and they're gone. There's still 70 guys left in the race, and Wout van Aert is all by himself. Remember, guys, Jumbo-Visma has got to be the second, maybe someone would argue the third or fourth best team in this race. I think they're the second best team next to Deceuninck-Quick-Step with the number one rider in the world there, Wout van Aert. 55K to go, 70 guys left. He's solo by himself. We'll see Victor Campenaerts, my man Quebeca Aso's up there pulling for no reason. Again, just pulling everybody. Deceuninck-Quick-Step behind him, Wout van Aert behind him. There's Victor Campenaerts. He didn't watch the butterfly effect the other day when he was on the front pulling. Now he's still on the front again, pulling like crazy. He pulls over one of the climbs across the top, and then the real attacks start. And when those attacks start, it's Asgreen throwing in a big dig there. And who else is chasing, pulling him back? Wout van Aert. There he is, left with no teammates, chasing Asgreen. He makes a rookie mistake here, guys, and this is a really easy mistake not to make. When he's coming up to the back wheel of Asgreen, That's not your job to pass him now and take a pull on the front after you just got done closing the gap with everyone sitting on your wheel. You know there's more Deceuninck-Quick-Step guys behind him on his wheel. He should know that when he comes up to Asgreen's wheel, he's got to come up and actually stay in the draft. If he can just come up, close that last couple meters real easy and get a few pedal strokes rest, when the next attack is coming, and it's always coming, folks. I raced for 25 years. Once Deceuninck-Quick-Step smell that blood like the shark in the ocean, you know the next attack's coming. They didn't just send Asgreen up the road for no reason at all. They want this exact effect, make Walt back there chase as soon as he brings back Asgreen. Instead of sitting on his wheel and getting 5 seconds of rest and then cover immediately needs to cover the next Deceuninck-Quick-Step rider. He passes him, stays in the wind for another 10-15 seconds. And then, of course, the next tacks come, and now he's behind the 8-ball again. He's chasing. Deceuninck-Quick-Step's in the front seat. We get further into the race, and now we're going to start the bergs. With 37 kilometers to go on the Tannenberg, we see Asgreen, Deceuninck-Quick-Step rider, throw in a big attack, and this blows it up to the favorite. Deceuninck-Quick-Step with 2. Asgreen, Julian Alaphilippe, Walt Van Aert, still solo, has been solo since 55K to go, and of course Mathieu van der Poel and the 2 Bahrain Meridia riders back there throwing in a dig. Bahrain Victorious riders, sorry. Those 6 riders are working well together, and they'll work all the way up to the next climb more or less smooth, and then the big attacks start. At 29K when the Kreuzberg starts, Asgreen throws in a big dig, and this splits it to Asgreen, Mathieu van der Poel, and Walt Van Aert. Now, Julian Alaphilippe gets distance, but he's in the group behind chasing. This is where Deceuninck-Quick-Step start flipping things in their favor even more. Asgreen gets to sit on basically from 27K all the way to 21K to go. That's giving him 5, 6, 7K to rest back there. He's eating, he's drinking. You'll see him argue with Walt Van Aert. Walt's trying to get him to pull. Man, he's like, wow, I'm not pulling. I got Julian Alaphilippe back there. Why would I pull with the #1 sprinter in the world who also happens to be the #1 classic rider and we all know is the #1 favorite at this year's Flanders? Of course, he's not going to pull. Walt, you're wasting your time. Walt gets on the front. He's back in the wind again with the Deceuninck-Quick-Step riders. Asgreen sitting on the back for that 5, 7K, getting a rest before the next climb starts. On the Old Quermont, with 19 kilometers to go in the race, is when we see Mathieu van der Poel light this race up, and he's going to split it, and that's going to get rid of Walt. Walt's back there dangling. Asgreen is split off from Mathieu van der Poel's wheel, but he's going to bridge across over the top, and that's going to put the 2 in the front, with the #1 favorite in the race riding solo again and again, pedaling in the wind, trying to close the gap. Those 2 will work perfect together all the way to 1K to go. Walt Van Aert will work solo back there from 19 till 10K, and he'll get caught from the group behind. This is what's crazy and blows my mind about Walt. He's caught from the group behind. There's no way he can close a 29-second gap on his own with 10K to go. If he stays and works with that group, maybe something magical can happen, or he wins the sprint and gets the final podium spot there on the Tour of Flanders. Instead, he rests back there for 1K from 10K to 9K, and then he jumps again to go solo, only to get caught and, of course, pass, with Greg Van Avermaet going to take the 3rd place on the podium of the Tour of Flanders. Up front, it's an exciting battle. Mathieu van der Poel and Asgreen are going to the line. Asgreen knows he's got the right to sit on because he's got teammates and back, and so he's going to throw that teammate card out there. We've seen it with Deceuninck-Quick-Step many times at these classics. They got the #1 team here. Maybe not the strongest guy in the world. If Alaphilippe's riding, they got that too, but he's not on perfect form at today's race, so they got the strongest team, and he's got teammates. Asgreen's got teammates back there left and right, so he's going to sit from 1K, 1,200 meters or so to go, all the way on Mathieu van der Poel's wheel until he jumps with about 300 meters to go. He pulls even with Mathieu van der Poel, and it looks like Van der Poel might throw another kick to the line, but instead it's Asgreen with the beautiful sprint and an incredible victory to go along with his win at E3 Saxo Bank earlier last week or two. His classic season campaign here at 2021 is capped off with Tour of Flanders victory. Man, it was fantastic race. Deceuninck-Quick-Step were perfect. Jumbo Visma, I don't know what you guys were thinking. You went back to some tactics from E3 Saxo Bank where you should have been racing with the tactics that you used in Ghent-Wevelgem. It was an exciting day of racing. Crazy race out there when you look at everything going down and how the tactics were played. Beautiful win, though, by As Green today. Hope you guys like my take on the butterfly effect, and I'll see you real soon because, of course, we got the Basque Country starting. That starts tomorrow, 6 days of fantastic racing. The Basque Country is absolutely the best GC field in the world, bar the Tour de France. The Giro, Tour of Spain, Dauphiné, Tour of Swiss, those races will not hold anything in comparison with the Basque Country of this week's racing. They are going to have the best quality field like it always has of GC riders in the world. This is a magical time to be watching bike racing with the best classic guys up north battling it and the best GC guys down south in Spain battling out. Look forward to seeing you guys on the Butterfly Effect. Like and subscribe and see you real soon.